Hi, my name is Abdid Jana Huerta. I am one of the co-organizers of the Hispanic Heritage Festival here at Fairfield Lane Libraries.
Hola a todos, mi nombre es Odalis Jiménez, soy de Puerto Rico y trabajé para la Biblioteca Lane como asociada de servicios públicos.
My name is Maribel Cortez Conde. I'm from Mexico. I'm board for GE Aerospace.
Yes, hello, my name is Carla Garcia.
My name is Celeste Swanson. I'm the Youth Services Coordinator here at the Lane Libraries.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Malillo, and I am the Assistant Branch Manager at the Fairfield Lane Library.
My name is Lauren Van Sype, and I've been helping out with this for 4 years now.
Un evento como este es tan increíblemente importante para nuestra comunidad. Una de las cosas que nosotros queríamos trabajar era con que nuestra comunidad fuera vista, celebrada y reconocida por todo lo que nosotros somos.
The importance, there's so many that I can go through, but so one of the biggest importances is community, and especially really focusing in onto our local Hispanic community and acknowledging their existence and trying to bring them all together. I grew up in the community, and some people didn't know their resources here. This is meant so that way they gather around, they find people that they can create that space where they can feel at home, and this makes them feel welcome in our community.
I think the main characteristic of this event is the family, right? I saw a lot of kids, the parents. That's something that is important for our community, the family, right? Family is important, the music and the food. The three of them are the most important ones.
I think the biggest, of course, is community building. What I love about the Hispanic Heritage Festival is just bringing so many different organizations together and putting people in touch with the different organizations that are available. It's such a great community event. It also really fits in with, the library, really diversity being so important to the library and just making sure that we're celebrating the diversity in our communities.
La química entre tú y yo llena de celos a los niños de Country Club. Se ve la vida.
La música siempre ha sido una parte bien importante y yo creo que la música, al igual que la comida, es una de las cosas que nos une como comunidad. Siempre hemos tenido la oportunidad de tener música que nos representa, pero a la misma vez que no es estereotípica en ese sentido.
My favorite Hispanic food are the tamales. However, I saw there is a food truck with elotes. The elotes mexicanos is like a street food. It's great, right? It's something different that makes me remember my country.
Wow, vamos a empezar a hacer lista. Me encantan los mofongos, me encantan los trifongos, me encantan los tostones, me encantan las panas, me encanta el flan. Ay, Dios mío, la carne frita, todas las comidas puertorriqueñas me encantan.
Latinos, we love sharing our culture, our food, our music, so it is very heartwarming to see all of you here celebrating with us on this very special month. Please make sure that you stop by to see all of our sponsors, to see all of the Latino crafts, our food. Make sure that you dance, even if you can't dance, have a beer, and I promise you that you'll start dancing just like myself. So thank you so much for being here.
mission this year is to encourage and inspire young minority women, both African American women and Latina and Hispanic women, to pursue any dream or goal that they have. As a scientist working towards becoming a doctor, I faced many barriers in pursuing my higher education. My parents are immigrants, so I'm a first-generation American and a first-generation college student. So they immigrated to the U.S. to give me the opportunity to have the educational opportunities that I do as an American. And I don't take that for granted every single day while being a college student at the University of Cincinnati and pursuing my medical degree. And so I now use the resources that I have gained throughout the years through all of my mentors in my community, and I use those to give back to low-income communities, to those little Hispanic girls, to those Latino women that believe that they don't have the resources or they can't be who they want to be because they don't see a Latina holding that title. They don't see a Latino holding the title of Miss Ohio or a Latina being a doctor. So I'm there to be that representation for them and let them know that they can be anything they want to be and that their dreams are bigger than their fears or the barriers that are setting them behind.
Este festival desde sus inicios, desde el primer año, siempre ha tenido la intención de ser multifacético y de presentar diferentes áreas de la comunidad. Así que tenemos, si van afuera y ven todo lo que tenemos afuera, tenemos desde gente que trabaja en la salud, que vienen a servir familias con diferentes clínicas de salud. Tenemos gente en educación, gente como por ejemplo GE Aerospace, que viene y comparte con las familias todas aquellas piezas educativas de cómo ayudar a las familias a encontrar su carrera y a encontrar oportunidades para educación secundaria. Tenemos también los diferentes aspectos en las artes, como lo es la música, todas las obras de teatro que están siendo presentadas, que están siendo promocionadas a través del evento también. Podemos ver las diferentes organizaciones comunitarias y sus contrapartes hispanas como vienen juntas y nos muestran que dentro de sus propias organizaciones también tienen sus agencias latinas y cómo ellos están dando de vuelta a la comunidad. Por supuesto, la comida, que es tan importante para todos nosotros los latinos, las diferentes comidas de diferentes áreas, los diferentes sabores y cómo las artes también en cuestión de las artesanías. Tenemos diferentes artesanos de diferentes partes de América del Sur, de Perú, de México, de Guatemala, o sea, todos los países viniendo juntos y mostrando lo mejor de nuestra cultura.
The reason I even started it in the first place, I grew up here in Fairfield, but my mother is from Mexico. She immigrated over with my sister in 97, had me in 98, and she's a single mom. She came with my sister, who was 5 years old at the time, and just so much that they had to go through to be here, and all of the resilience that she created, all of the strength and love that she has given. I always wanted to help in some way.
Being Hispanic means that I can have two different perspectives. You know, growing up in America, but also having that Mexican side, it influences a lot in the way I think and the way I perceive the world. And it's really interesting to be able to communicate with different types of people when I speak English, when I speak Spanish. And I just, I take that as an asset, really, not only within, kind of getting a job or something, but just to be able to interact with so many people. That's the biggest blessing that I think being Hispanic is to me.
Yo no puedo separar quién yo soy de mi cultura latina, es algo bien arraigado en mí, no es solamente el idioma, no es solamente lo diferente que se siente cuando hablamos en español, sino que también es cada una de esas partes que nosotros dejamos atrás. Yo creo que una de las cosas que nosotros los latinos aquí en Cincinnati todos tenemos, independientemente de donde vengamos, todos tenemos en común, es el hecho de que uno tiene esa añoranza de lo que dejó atrás, de quién se quedó atrás, de nuestras familias, de nuestra cultura, independientemente por las razones por las cuales hayamos tenido que dejar nuestro hogar y llegar aquí. Es tan bonito poder ver esas partes de nuestra cultura en este lugar donde llamamos casa ahora. O sea que para mí ser latina es una parte bien esencial de quién yo soy, de cómo yo me proyecto como persona y de poder conectar con las familias y con todos los que se sienten igual que yo también.
Well, the festival is not only kind of getting together with the community. Actually, I'm one of the vendors bringing some activities to inspire the kids to pursue STEM careers. And I see the same organizations around when we go into the different festivals is the same people. We are like a family. So that's something important. Every time we see each other, it's like we are doing good for the community, and you always see the same people. So it's like going with your brothers and your sisters, with your aunts, right? You know everybody, and that's great.
The importance of an event like this is it gets people to get out of their comfort zone and to explore, because a lot of times we don't do that in our day-to-day lives. It's more easy and appealing to go back home and get into your usual activities as opposed to going to a festival like this and learning more about your neighbors. And people should do that more. Me volunteering at this, I learned a lot more than I wouldn't have, and so I'm very thankful that I had the chance to have this experience. And I've learned a little bit all 4 years, and hoping in the future that learn more stuff. It's been pretty groovy.
You know, the importance of community building and just realizing that there are so many people in the community that have shared values and really care about connecting with each other, really care about supporting diversity. And I think that that's so important. And it's just nice to see, you know, I've volunteered the past few years at the festival, and it's just been really fun to connect with people, tell them about the programs that we offer that they had no idea that we do, a story time in Espanol or just story times in general. So just being able to connect people, I think, is what I love about it.
I think one thing is doing events like this, to saying, you know, let's all embrace our culture and let's learn from each other. I think supporting businesses is a very good way to help the Hispanic community, and just interacting. Like I said, I think the biggest thing is coming together. It can be a little scary for both ends. A lot of people are learning English, other individuals are trying to learn Spanish, but I think there's a bridge that can be connected there, and so just coming to events and meeting new people, that's the biggest way to start.
Yo creo que es importante, no solo esto que estamos haciendo es importante porque reconoce y ve a la comunidad, pero yo creo que en la medida que interactuamos más y que hacemos más partnerships, que hacemos más asociaciones con organizaciones comunitarias que sirven a estas comunidades y que comenzamos a escuchar, que comenzamos a ver cuáles son las necesidades individuales y específicas de cada grupo dentro de la comunidad, eso nos ayuda a que nuestros servicios sean más intencionales y que nosotros veamos qué es lo que cada comunidad necesita en específico.
Just to understand how we are as a community in terms of the values that you mentioned at the beginning, the family, why it's important for us to have dinner together, or the dancing, right, the music and all that. Now, how can you help? I think it's understanding a little bit about our traditions, respecting the traditions also, right? Sometimes those are a little bit different. Even within the Hispanic community, it's different. Some of us are Christians, some of us are Catholic. So it's understanding those and be part of the community. Be interested, not interesting, is what we say in GE. Interested on why we do the stuff or the things that we do, and integrate with each other.
Listen to Hispanic people and what they need. So one way is by listening to any of their specific needs. I know we have Cincinnati Compass here doing a survey to see what the needs are of the Hispanic community, and that's referencing that kind of support. We can go from there and see what people need. So if you just listen, that's the biggest thing you can do, and amplify those voices. So we have a lot of people who are not Hispanic who are helping us out with this event, who have been amazing supporters, is because they help us amplify those voices of Hispanic people who are in the festival as well. Biggest allies can do that.